Hello there, good morning. Welcome to the first bulletin of the day here on TV3. My name is Godwin Asideba, leading the bulletin this morning. Government promises to implement key recommendations from the just-ended National Economic Dialogue to boost economic growth. Also coming up this morning, former Deputy Director of the National Service Authority, Gift Yowari, expected to appear before the state security agencies over her role in the alleged NSS ghost name scandal. President John Dramani Mahama urges Constitutional Review Committee to review law that mandates the executive to appoint majority of ministers from Parliament. Find us live on DSTV channel 279. We are also streaming across the world on Facebook at TV3 Ghana, where your thoughts and comments are welcome. We begin the program from here. At the just-ended event, the Vice President has given a firm assurance that government will implement every recommendation contained in the communique of the 2 days National Economic Forum without delay. Speaking at the closing ceremony of the dialogue, Professor Nana Jino Pokwajaman says the government of President John Dramani Mahama will build a more resilient and inclusive government.
The benefits of such actions are improved connectivity, reduced costs, and unlocking new opportunities for businesses and communities across the country. In all of this, we must ensure that the structural and policy reforms support a more resilient and competitive economy, especially in key areas or key sectors such as agriculture, education, healthcare, social welfare, and others. Our commitment is to continuously review and adapt our policies to meet the needs of a changing global economy. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a private sector-led growth model is important. We need an enabling environment that allows businesses to thrive through improved access to finance, better infrastructure, or creating a more competitive business environment. We must strengthen the private sector as the engine of growth. This must go beyond just being mentioned too often. We need to act on that and ensure that it is capable of creating even more jobs and driving innovations. We must anchor these interventions on good governance and fighting corruption. Effective governance is essential for improving public sector efficiency, enhancing transparency, and strengthening institutions to eliminate corruption. The reset agenda is both ambitious and necessary. It requires a concerted effort from all of us. That is government, private sector, civil society, every Ghanaian citizen. And I want to assure you that the government of Ghana is fully committed to translating these resolutions into concrete action. I have noted all the homework you have given us. Our promise is to collaborate with all sectors and all sections of Ghana to ensure that we deliver a homework worthy of an A.
A group known as the Volta Diaspora Caucus has gone on protest against a recent verbal assault on the daughter of the former President Zanato Agyemang Rawlings. Safo Abuahin followed the group of petitioners who marched through the principal street of Accra to Parliament.
Earlier today, a group of people called the Volta Diaspora Caucus embarked on a protest against what they term as a derogatory remark by one of the Member of Parliament during Parliament proceedings that Dr. Zanato Rawlings was a daughter of a murderer, and even went ahead to justify its claim. And from the people, the caucus, they have petitioned the Speaker of Parliament to allow for this MP to come up, own up, and apologize to the people of the Volta region, because they do not take lightly what has been done. And they say that this is a total disrepute to the reputation of somebody who has been a president of the nation.
I was a foundation member of the Fourth Republic, and we walked through the hallowed walls of this parliament and laid a solid foundation. So for people to come now to enjoy from the fruits of those who labored and make, excuse me to say, irresponsible, unpatriotic comments today, our sons and daughters here in Accra have decided to do this little manifestation in the hope that the Speaker and all of you will do the needful. Whoever made that statement must own up or must be found. This is just the first step. If after this we don't find him, we will find our own way of making that person out.
Let me assure you that the petition will get to the right source. I'll personally walk over to the office of the Speaker. I know he's caught up in some engagements. He's not even in the chamber now. So I'll walk to his office immediately and engage him on this petition. I recognize the seriousness attached to the petition because of the sentiments that this petition evokes. Mr. Speaker, who has always done what is right, as your good self is aware, will certainly, bring speed to this particular matter.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament has ordered an immediate investigation into the comment on the floor of the House. Majority Leader Mahama Ayaraga is lending support to the Privileges Committee to bring the perpetrator to book, while the Minority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre has also sought to bring the attention of the Speaker to some equally disparaging comments made against him.
Course of the parliamentary proceedings on 4th February this year, an honorable member of this House was subjected to an unwarranted, unjustified, and deeply offensive, reckless remark, or being referred to as, for want of a better way to convey the remark, quote, the daughter of a murderer. I apologize for having to even repeat it. The unsavory remark was uttered off microphone from a seat of the minority side of the House in reference to the honorable member. I extend my deepest apologies to Honorable Dr. Zaneto Ajiman-Rawlings, Member of Parliament for Klote Kole, Her Excellency Nana Kunedu Ajiman-Rawlings, the former First Lady of Ghana and widow of our late illustrious President, the family, the chiefs, and all the good people of Anglo Duko and Anglo land. No one serving their country should have to endure such indignity. Consequently, a formal investigation has been initiated to determine the identity of the member who made the comment. I advise the member responsible for the remark to, within a week, choose the path of honesty, mea culpa, and opt for a plea bargain.
And Mr. Speaker, I will join you to urge colleagues to be decorous in the way that we conduct ourselves in the chamber. I believe that the investigation that you have launched will definitely unravel the individual who engaged in such reckless comment. And I also urge whoever it is to own up as directed by the Speaker. And I want to assure this House that when we ultimately establish the identity of that person, the full weight of this side of the House will stand firmly behind the Privileges Committee when they seek to exact the highest penalty.
I'm hoping we can bring this matter to a close, but I'm taken aback that mine has taken close to 3 weeks. The Speaker had assured that we will engage the two of us. I am reliably informed the lady was invited. I was not invited. Speaker, I'm just bringing this to your attention. But I will leave the decision in your bosom. And you are experienced and clothed with the powers to guide this House in all matters. So I'll just bring this to your notice and hoping that we can bring finality to it.
The debate on President Mahama's State of the Nation address was disrupted on Tuesday after the minority protested the proportional allotment of opportunity in favor of the majority. Minority leader Alexander Fenyo-Macken noted that the unfair treatment in number of contributors is problematic as it sets a bad precedent. A report by Christian Yali.
What is going on in this chamber? No!
3 members of parliament had already made their contributions to the debate when the unexpected happened. The furious minority MPs would not overlook what they saw as an unfair treatment in the number of persons allowed from each side to debate.
Mr. Speaker, they are trying to set a bad precedent, which bad precedent will bring chaos to this House. Which bad president will crucify democracy. Mr. Speaker, we have human rights activists on the majority side. The lead human rights activist is the majority leader. Mr. Speaker, why are they trying to, as it were, go against the promises of our Constitution?
The majority leader, Mahama Yarga, explained that allowing equal numbers will disadvantage his side as they have more numbers than the opposition.
We are going to debate, and this is going to be the order of business going forward. Mr. Speaker, he spent about 30 minutes trying to justify his position.
The exchanges continued, compelling the Deputy Speaker Bernard Ahiafo to direct consensus building on the matter. But that would not work, causing a temporary suspension of proceedings.
Honourable members, after the exhaustion of that opportunity, when we are not able to build consensus, then we have no other option than to apply our own rules to address the situation. So, honourable members, I will plead with the majority and the minority leader to further engage and build consensus on this matter.
For the minority side of the House, such precedent as are being set right now, if not checked, could go a long way to hamper the gains made in parliamentary democracy.
Honourable members, order.
President John Dramani Mahama has highlighted key amendments that will strengthen governance in the country. At a meeting with Constitution Review Committee, the president says key to his success as president and reset of the country will be to have these amendments that will boost confidence in Ghana's democratic dispensation.
Of requesting this meeting is twofold. First is to brief you on what the committee has been doing and done in the month or so since we were sworn in this building. Then secondly, His Excellency, we think that before we kickstart the public engagements and the stakeholder engagements, that it would be appropriate to begin with you. And in that regard, to give you an opportunity to share with the committee your own thoughts, intentions, and some expectations regarding the work that has been assigned us. We have held a number of meetings. As a result of those meetings, we have agreed on the approach to our work. We have come to an agreement on how we are going to proceed with this work, given the time that we've been given. We have also agreed on a set of guiding principles that would inform the deliberations that we will undertake as a committee, as well as the proposals and recommendations that we would make to you. Also on logistics, we have recruited a pool of legal assistants and researchers and a project team to constitute the secretariat for the committee. We've also managed to get our website operational and have made some initial communication to the public, showing them to our website and inviting them to interact or interface with the committee through the website. We've also done some initial outreach to identifiable stakeholder and interest groups.
I believe this is our best opportunity to be able to carry out the review of the Constitution and build consensus around making it a more living document. This is not an ad hoc amendment. We want to look at all the things that would make this a living document relevant to the times in which we are. As you said, Fiajo report, white paper was issued, and then this Chairman Sabunso report become the source documents for the work that you're starting. So it's not like we are starting from scratch, so it makes it easier for us to synthesize, listen to the public again, and see what new ideas have come up. They say wisdom does not exist in one head, but in as many people as possible. So off the top of my head, several issues, have come. One, to do with election of district chief executives. That has been an issue that has been canvassed over and over again. There's also the issue of Article 71, office holders. And their emoluments being different from ordinary mortals. And so that's a vexed question that you have to look at. For me, my personal opinion and the position of my party is that we set up an independent emoluments committee that will fix everybody's emoluments from the watchman right to the president. It is more transparent, it is more equitable. Then we also must look at issues of strengthening our anti-corruption issues. This must be an opportunity for us to strengthen issues to do with the fight against corruption. Of course, there are other issues that have come where people have gone to the Supreme Court for interpretation. And so if we can take opportunity of those rulings and tighten the Constitution so that we block whatever lacuna was in there that made it necessary to go to the Supreme Court.
Government says it will soon complete the national vetting for Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executive, the MMDCEs, across the country. Minister of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, says President John Dramani Mahama will, in accordance with appropriate constitutional provisions, name qualified MMDCEs.
The overall development at the district level has been the day-to-day responsibility of MMDCEs as stipulated in Article 243 of the 1992 Constitution. Though the appointment is a sole prerogative of the President, the delay in naming them has left many worried, with claims that the development in the various districts have stalled. Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs says President Mahama will in the coming days release the approved list for the various MMDCs to serve in his second term.
If you have 4 years to rule, and you use 9 months to appoint your DCs, then you have and you are going to use 1 year to campaign, it means the DCE will be able to rule for only 2 years. We don't want to repeat that mistakes. So as I speak to you, the BNR report is ready in order to the Global Info Analytics report is ready in all the 276. The regional vetting report ready in all 276. So it's a national vetting that is going on. And the national vetting take into consideration all the three. They are not using only one.
However, the bank claims of nominees paying monies to assemblies to be approved.
The foundation of every political party depends on how accurate the appointment goes. In opposition, you will all be united in looking for peace. But once you find power, appointment alone can disintegrate the whole party. So I don't want us to do arbitrary appointment. And I don't want to own the process of appointment. So here we don't appoint this MMDCE.
Executive Secretary of the National Peace Council says approved MMDCs will be trained to be conflict sensitive.
Now we have the Chieftaincy and Religious Ministry joined with the Ministry of Local Government. So we thought it is a duty to pay a visit to Honorable Minister. So together we fashion out what we can do to help particularly deal with issues that confront chieftaincy in our country and issues that confront religion in our country, and even issues that confront our local governors.
The Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson the CMA is expected to appear before Parliament today, March 5, 2025, to apprise the House of the cost of the construction of the new Bank of Ghana headquarters at Rich in Accra. Parliament extended the invitation to the governor in a letter dated February 28, 2025, after the adoption of the business statement for this week.
We also decided at the committee meeting that next week, Wednesday, we will invite the governor of the Bank of Ghana as an independent constitutional body to come to this house and brief us on the pricing of the new Bank of Ghana head office building, how the price variations took place, what the quantities were, and the justification for the construction of the new Bank of Ghana headquarters. And so this is programmed for next week, that this house is inviting the governor of the Bank of Ghana to come and brief us on the pricing of the Bank of Ghana head office building. And so I urge members on Wednesday to show up so that we will hear from the governor on the pricing of the Bank of Ghana head office.
The wanted former Deputy Executive Director of the National Service Scheme, Gifty Oware-Mensah, has arrived in Ghana. Her arrival ends week of speculation surrounding her whereabouts amid allegations tying her to the NSS payroll scandal, which uncovered over 81,885 ghost names. I was at the airport yesterday and came through the floor report. Executive Director of the National Service Scheme, Gifty Oware-Mensah, arrived at the Kotoka International Airport today, March 4, 2025, at approximately 12:30 p.m.
I'm aware that Gifty arrived this afternoon. I've been in touch with her. She's here in Ghana. She arrived this afternoon.
Her return to Ghana marks the end of a period of speculations about her whereabouts following allegations of her involvement in the NSS payroll scandal, which reportedly involved the insertion of over 81,885 ghost names into the scheme's database, costing the state millions of Ghana cedis monthly. Minority leader Alexander Fenyo-Makin has indeed confirmed that Oware-Mensah will make herself available for questioning by the National Investigation Bureau, which is the NIB, regarding her tenure at the NSS office where she oversaw administration and finance there.
She did not run away from the jurisdiction. She had traveled out. She traveled out freely. She came back to Ghana. She's entered the country freely. However, the NIB officials reached out to me and that they needed her they have also reached out to her lawyers, and the lawyers have been in that discussions with them. Today, she's in town. She will make herself available. Whatever that they have to ask of her, I'm sure she will be able to deal with it. And I'm saying that nobody has harassed her as far as I'm concerned, because I've been following, engaging her, and so far, nobody has harassed her.
This follows reports indicating that NIB officers had planned to arrest her upon arrival for interrogation as part of their probe into the alleged payroll fraud. However, key figures from the New Patriotic Party and whose administration she served are reportedly mobilizing to accompany her to the NIB offices, suggesting political support amid the unfolding investigation.
MPP is not against accountability, me inclusive. We've been in public service, we are out of office. Obviously, if the new government needs former officials to explain certain matters in one way or the other, it's within their right to pursue such. And if it means investigating, there should be no problem. What is important is to follow that due process. And once due process is being followed, why not? I mean, after all, once you get into public office, you must all be mindful that...
Did it take a lot of convincing to bring her back into the country?
No, the person was not running out. She was on holiday. You know, this era of social media.
As you may have witnessed events happening at the Kotoka International Airport, the situation remains fluid. Owari Mensah's next steps, presenting herself to the NIB, will likely determine the trajectory of the investigation and her public standing. Authorities have yet to confirm the exact timing of her questioning, but her arrival signals a critical development in the ongoing effort to unravel the NSS payroll scandal. Godwin Asedeba, TV3 News. Right, that's how we bring the bulletin to an end this morning. You can continue shortly. Do stay with us. See you soon. Bye.